Willie, thank you for speaking with us. It's good to have you, and congratulations. This is a big unveil, and I know a highly anticipated one as well. Very important as a product, both in terms of the kind of image it brings in to a certain buyer set, and then also, of course, the volume that you project for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw our motto, it's tough on the outside, caring on the inside. And when you actually get a chance to drive it over the crazy surfaces, you'll see really it's caring on the inside and really tough. I mean, as I said, kind of tongue-in-cheek inside, but you could almost put another badge on this vehicle, even though it is not a 4x4. So I think this appeals. I mean, you see the varying road conditions in India. I mean, you could basically almost take this vehicle anywhere, right?
You know, the thing about the brand, which a lot of people keep asking, is of course how quickly you will expand. And I know you touched upon that when you spoke with us earlier in your presentation. But you're right in a way that today it isn't so much about how many dealers you have, but about how many people you can really reach.
Yeah.
How sort of confident are you with this? Because this one is, again, looking at a very serious volume segment. How confident are you to be able to really sort of get a whole lot of people to notice the car, to then maybe access it as well?
I think this changes the game. I think the C3 AirCross changes the game for us as a brand. You know, we launched with C5 AirCross, very niche, right? And then C3, great offering, great value. EC3, selling like crazy, right? And now, but this is really hitting the heart of the segment. I think this will really put us on the map, provided that you write a whole bunch of nice articles about it, and, and this is seen by a lot of people. But I mean, look, there's a lot of best in class and first in this vehicle as well. So I think it'll appeal to a broader audience even than what we have on paper. So I think this is the game changer. This is the launching pad for us. You see our network strategy that we talked about. We'll have 60 outlets by the time this launches. We'll have 75 by the end of this year. And we plan to expand to over 100 in 2024. So we're taking the step-by-step approach with our dealers, right? So in the sky's the limit. I mean, but we are taking this step-by-step approach. It's more about value and it's more about quality than it is about flooding the market with a bunch of cars.
You know, when you talk about C-Cubed as a program, obviously internally you would have a certain sort of target, even in terms of numbers. I don't want to get into how many numbers, because this would again be a significant part of that. But given the fact that the C3 was supposed to be like the entry car, anyway, that automatically means larger volume. But this again, the segment is the highest growing in the market, and it has been for some time now. So does that really then put you on the map in many ways? People finally get to see the brand, experience it, maybe also get to learn how to say the name right?
Yeah, Citroën.
Citroën, yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, this is the springboard, for the rest, and you'll see more products coming, but this is really the beginning of that, right?
Well, you did say one more on this. I mean, that was always known, to be fair, and whether it's, all the rumors about the MPV or the coupe, I'm not going to get into that, but the electrification part of or capability of this platform, does that see you through to maybe future products beyond 2024 as well?
That's a great question. You obviously saw EC3, which again is selling like hotcakes. I mean, we can't build them fast enough. It's really been a great success story with and very little media put behind it too. I mean, it's been awesome. Yes, you make a very good observation that the platform is ripe for EVs. It's a multi-power platform. Multi-powertrain platform. So yes, as you can imagine, as the market dictates, you may or may not see some more vehicles that are electrified on the same platform that may or may not look like this one.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I won't get into it. Maybe off camera I might get into a deeper conversation on that. But the program itself, of course, applies to many markets. It's not just India. I know India is central to it in many ways, but outside of the car being made in other markets or in other production sites, the one from India, does it go to a lot of markets as well?
Yeah, not yet, but you'll see some announcements coming. We've set up an export hub for C3.
I can understand you prioritize India first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. But you'll see this will become a very important vehicle for some other markets around the world, and we plan to sell this vehicle in India, made in India, in as many markets as we possibly can.
But is that restricted by right-hand drive, or it doesn't have to be?
It doesn't have to be restricted by right-hand drive. I mean, we're constantly looking at different business cases for, what does this look like in left-hand drive? Yeah. Because the basics are there already, right?
No, and you've done that before. I mean, as a group, you've done exports with left-hand drive. Quick word on what's happening with Jeep, because you mentioned And it was a very emphatic part of what you spoke to us about in your presentation about how, of course, Stellantis is here to stay. The two brands will be the sort of pillars for that strategy. With Citroën, the very specific targeting of the market in terms of segment, customer, and then potential volumes is a little more evident now, of course, as the strategy has unfolded. With Jeep, though, the question mark kind of still remains in terms of, are you still in the heart of the market? Is the brand still as relevant, or can it be more relevant?
Well, Jeep is a very aspirational brand, right? It's a premium brand, right? It's considered a premium brand, not only here, but across the world.
Yeah.
I mean, and I call it, we talk about premiumization. It's really, if it's a word, luxurization, right, of the Jeep brand. And you'll see more products coming out that are even more and more premium from Jeep. And I know that we're not here to talk about Jeep, but I think it's important to note too that we've got further product enhancements coming on the Jeep side here in India. And I'm sure Aditya can give you a lot more background on that when the time comes, or maybe I'll even be here for that. But yeah, Jeep is, we've got a lot happening with Jeep as well. So it's not just Citroën.
Yeah.
There's a lot of development happening on the Jeep side.
I hope you are here for that. But
I love India.
And they said that you've been here a lot, so you understand the market. Look, the reason I asked that question is not so much about, hey, what's the next launch, or what's going to be the next big strategy or announcement from Jeep, but in terms of Stellantis itself, the way you view the market, even the example you gave me for the EC3, it addresses a sort of a entry aspiration. While with Jeep, you said it's a premium brand, it's right. For electrification, there's this massive wave of interest around the Avenger. Is that what you would also look at for Jeep? Because it is kind of like the cream brand in that sense.
That's a great question. If you look at the joint developed platforms that are coming for Stellantis.
Well, Stellantis,
yeah, we've got Stella Mid, which is happening now, coming out with the first offering on the Peugeot side in the first quarter of next year, the 3008 and the 5008. But that's a multi-fuel, multi-energy platform, right, as it sits. Stella Small, same thing. Stella Large, same. Stella Frame, same. Okay, so you can only imagine as things migrate what we'll experience in markets like India, right? So it's all about scale, right? And it's all about developing the best technology and meeting customers where they're at, and really Stellantis gives us that scale.
I'll tell you why I also asked that question is because when you think Jeep, and maybe more so in the Indian context where a lot of people are still sort of discovering the brand in a way, they don't naturally think EV. But as a global strategy, that has got to be a big part of what you're doing. So how do you marry those two things?
Well, what we say is that 4xe is the new 4x4, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll see in every segment for Jeep, it's getting electrified. Actually, in every segment for Jeep will be electrified by 2025, right? And there's markets that are in my region, like New Zealand, with the government regulations. I mean, New Zealand is at the forefront of us introducing Jeeps that are electrified, just by virtue of what the customers are demanding, by virtue of what the government has put into place. So yeah, I mean, you'll see more and more. The beauty of Stellantis is that we've got this buffet, this smorgasbord of product, right, and technology that we can choose from, right? And when a market flips and when customer preferences flip, we're ready.
Yeah.
It's not just for Jeep; it's across all of our brands.
And of course, you do have the big investments in India. So again, to be able to exercise that flip, I guess you're better positioned. So one last thing. I mean, this is maybe a little bit bordering on the philosophical, but a year from now, what would you like to see in terms of the position that Citroën has, perhaps Jeep or Stellantis in India?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great question. Well, we need to have a healthy dealer network. We need to have happy customers, right? We already are producing a very high quality vehicle. We know that. We're working with our suppliers to have high quality suppliers. So really the baseline is just quality, right? Can we say that we're number one in quality? So I think if we're standing here a year, can we really look at ourselves and say, are we building a quality product? Can we say we're number one in quality? That will be the first thing, because quality is the basis for everything. We can have great product, really sexy looking product, great technology, but if we don't have quality, then we're toast. So if we're standing here in a year, really it's about quality. So philosophical question, but really it's a serious answer. Like, we need quality as a baseline.
That's just integral to the business in
Yeah.
any case. I really liked what you said about how it's IAP, so you put India ahead of
Yes.
Asia Pacific, not as a part of it. We love that. We love the fact that you have that sort of focus, and love to welcome you back
No,
anytime
absolutely.
soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
you for the time.
Likewise.
And look forward to hearing about your drive when you do a real drive tomorrow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.